hear me now? Boom. Right, I guess we can just start from the top here. Let me just push these. I am bad at the seminar. Okay. The window capture. Whoops. Window capture. That's just it. Type it in. Oh, you can hear me. Okay, good. Yep, this is it. Right here. June the 20th, 2013, this game came out. I fell in love with this thing so fucking much that I played it literally at least 3 times on different difficulties. I even played it with hard, but for some reason it didn't save it when I switched it. Because you can switch difficulties, but kind of hard. Because we were playing as Ellie at this part. Anyway, this girl, Ellie, is apparently immune because she was bitten for 3 weeks and nothing happened. So Joel and his companion that he smuggled with smuggled her outside of town. Joel, he's not the good guy, should we necessarily say, but you get the feeling he's a good guy. But deep down he's just, yeah, he's just a bad guy. He kills a lot of people in this game to try and get Ellie to where they need to go. And he loses his friend on the way. So he kind of feels like he shouldn't. But then he knows he has to do this because Tess died for this. Companion Tess, she died for this. She was infected. So basically she just went on a suicide route. She said, like, go leave, I'll stand by the door that the enemies are about to barge through, and I'll die in the... yeah. So basically they did a very bad thing there. I always thought I could save her. Sometimes I'd even shoot the guys that entered the building, so I was like, Tess, no! I guess I wasn't too keen on Tess. She kind of scared me. But yeah. Anyway, they go run into this guy called Bill, blah blah blah. They kind of bond on the way, I guess you could say. But not like much. So, well, yeah, when they well, yeah, something happens to Ellie. They are looking for the group that could make a cure, which is the the group that, you know, they say come look for. So when they did that, Joel kind of got in a bad position. I'm just saying this stuff while there's nothing in the background. Anyway, it gets kind of bad, so we play a whole segment of the game as just Ellie trying to survive. It kind of gets bad, but you know, you can tell she really wants to let Joel live. You can tell that she wants him to live because she has no one else. She didn't know her mum. Her mum apparently abandoned her or something. And yeah, when Joel gets hurt, she really tries her best because she lost so much already that she doesn't want to lose anyone else. She tries her best. She almost dies over it, but she gets there and, well, yes, Joel survives. Also, sometimes we see Joel's brother Tommy, but we never really have any close bondage with this guy, ever. But this game, right, is the second part of the game. Well, first of all, we'll talk about how the first one ends. Unless you want to play it, which I would highly recommend that you do not watch this video until you do. Go play it, then maybe play part 2 at the same time, and then yeah. And yeah. They finally get to where they need to go, and when Joel takes her to the Fireflies group that could save the world, he finds out that it's mutated in Ellie's brain, the virus, and the residue infection, and if they wish to save humanity, she has to make the cure, but making the cure results in growth over the brain, which means she will die. So Joel has to make the toughest decision he could ever make in his life. Sacrifice this young girl to save humanity, the girl that he's grown close to. He's grown soft to this girl. He feels like she's his daughter. She reminds him of Sarah. I'm sure they've had their ups and downs, and sometimes, they just don't care about each other, and sometimes do care about each other, but he cares about her no matter what, really. So when he has to make this choice, he does something very selfish. He kills basically every Firefly in that hospital just to save her, including the last doctor that could possibly save humanity. So by doing this, he just killed humanity in this reason, which makes you think, this character really isn't a good guy, is he? He's just an asshole. That's what he did. Sorry, I gotta put my charger in. So this makes him seem very selfish, and yes, I agree 100% that he's an asshole. Hey, he saved Ellie. He saved Ellie, so I believe he's a good guy. This is our hero in Henrietta, the first part. Then they're in Boston at the start, I think, just after Texas. And it kinda, they go through Jackson, and they go to Washington, I think it was, or something. Yeah, and that's where everything goes down, and basically he just kills everyone, including a person he knows. His brother, I think, worked with him or something a while ago. It's called Firelight. Yeah, Marlene. He just kills her in the end. She tries to convince him to Joel, what you're doing is not right here. You should stop. Think about humanity, not yourself for once in your life. And he just, kills her. Also, Joel has done things in his life he's not proud of, but he did to survive. So he's one of those characters, that you feel like you can relate to, but at the same time you're like, I can't relate to this guy at all. I've not been through what he's been through. Then it goes straight into part 2. It kind of goes back and forth with the age process, and it kind of switches to another person in gameplay too. But your Ellie at least is apparently meant to be 5 or something years later. She's all grown up now. She's becoming independent and rebellious, of course, towards Joel. If you didn't know it, there's also something called The Last of Us Left Behind. It's meant to be the story of Ellie before she meets Joel and before she finds out she's immune. She spends time with her best friend Riley because she's in an all-girls military school, I think. So she grows close to Riley very easily, and they basically fall in love. But yeah, it never really gets looked into again until part 2. She had a crush on this girl called Dina, and but Dina was going out with her friend Jessie at the time. So when they were in a bar one day, at a family gathering, and Dina kissed her because she was drunk and stuff, and then it gets kind of bad. And so Joel defends Ellie because the guy was like, right, this is a family event, get out of here, we don't need anyone like you show an example, because we don't need your example thingy, yeah. Then Ellie and Joel basically have fallout. And some parts behind that will just go in the age process actually. Ellie wonders why Joel liked her, because he said that there were other people immune like her in the facility, and that her being immune meant nothing. So her purpose in life, she thought that, her death would mean something. If she saved humanity and grew up or something and died happy, she would have a meaningful life or something. But of course that didn't happen because of Joel. So she gets tired of asking Joe questions about it and decides to go back to the hospital herself, and well, she sees everything, even the notes the doctor left behind. I don't think she ever forgave Joe properly until the end of the game, but they didn't really stay on good terms after that, so she knew all this, and Joe came looking for her, of course, and I guess she kind of thought he was a controlling manipulative guy, but it's not at all, he just really cared. And she was basically pissed off at him about this literally the whole time. And then, yeah. They go to museums, they go to see, like, a lot of things. Ellie gets into drawing. He even gave her a guitar he made himself or something. Or something like that, but they go to patrols in this place called Jackson, or Jacksonville, I don't remember. Jacksonville or Jackson. One day they're just out there and, well, Joe and his brother are on a post and they run into this group. Well, basically just this one person, but then it becomes a group. Ellie, I think, runs into it too, I don't really remember. Alright, Joel has no idea who this person is, and it's just Tommy, and when they tell the group their names, they just, ooh, they lose their shit. It turns out this group of people were ex-fireflies. Hooray! And the girl they just happened to run into was the daughter of the surgeon that could save humanity, Joe murdered. So, I mean, killed. It's not really fair to say murder, but yes, killed. So, yeah, she starts beating him. Ellie shows up, and Tommy tries his best, but couldn't help Joel. Joel ends up dying. And this hits me hard because he got it. I was kind of thinking about it a little bit, but then I think, no, we couldn't just kill him off like that, right? After that, they did. Killed him off. So easily. The dumbest way. And then it basically kind of haunts Ellie because they let her and Tommy live, I think. Yeah. I think they did. They let Tommy and Ellie live, they leave. But Ellie, she feels guilt, but most of all she feels enraged with anger. She feels like a monstrous anger looming over her or something, and she basically sets it on a revenge party, and Dina comes on with her, and Jesse refuses, but knows they'll go anyway, and so does Tommy's girl when Tommy left, because they didn't know he left until, you know, Maria said something, his girl, and they basically go on after him anyway, because she let them leave to go get him, but she kind of went on a revenge plan at the same time, because she knew Tommy probably wouldn't leave without them anyway, so she's like, screw it, alright, let's just do this anyway, or something like that. They get to where the group called the Wolves were, which is where the girl worked. She's called Abby. Yeah, they're in Seattle now. It actually looks really much like Seattle, apparently. According to Jack, it says Seattle. And yeah, everything basically goes to shit. The whole place is flooded, most of the buildings are crumbled away, and yeah, they're fighting. There's this new type of zombie thing called Shambler. It's like a bloater that shoots this big amount of gas acid thingy at you. And yeah, Dina finds out Ellie's immune when Ellie's mask breaks, and Dina said, "We'll share mine." She's like, she was just don't do it, stop holding it, don't do it, and yeah. She did tell her before she was immune. Oh yeah, forgot to mention, they smoke weed. They were smoking one time. She said, "Oh, this it's a chemical burn I did to myself to cover the bite mark," and then you know, kind of puts two and two together. After she said, "See, I told you I'm immune thing," but when they find safety after all that, Dina's not feeling well and stuff. She starts, you know, feeling sick. and stuff. So she says, Ellie, I think I'm pregnant. And you're like, oh fuck. Oh great, our whole plan's ruined then. We can't do nothing with Dina because we have to look after Dina now. And Ellie kind of gets mad at her and everything, and then they make up, but then Jesse gets into the fray. He's like, what, you expect me just to go and leave and die? Don't call me? No. That's what he doesn't know, and then you just go and avenge Pop killing all of Abby's friends in the group that was there that day, so yep. And then I think he finally finds out because he asks Ellie, and she obviously can't lie to him, but she says yes. And yeah, Dina doesn't really tell him. Ellie gets a lead to where Abby is, so she goes out to this aquarium place out on some sort of dock area in Seattle. She doesn't find her, but she finds somebody called Owen, someone Abby really cares about. They were together before her father died, but they kind of grew apart, and he was with another woman that was also pregnant. Ellie kills them both, and then realizes she's pregnant after Owen tried his best to say, don't, she's pregnant, but didn't get to say the whole thing, because, you know, and yeah. Tommy and Jesse walk in on her after her just finding out that this woman was pregnant. And you could tell she felt super horrible and guilty about it, because she basically sat there in shock and panicked, like, holy crap, I just killed a child. Because, you know, Ellie is a good person deep down, but on the outside she can't really show it like that right now, because she's so angry and guilty. So they take her back to Dina, and oh yeah, Abby finds them. I thought she killed Tommy because she shot Tommy after killing Jesse, yeah. Shot Jesse in the face. Yep, basically, after that, apparently Tommy lived, and Dina and Ellie don't live in Jackson anymore, they live in this house, because she let Ellie live. Abby and this kid called Lev leave. I think they were trying to replace the Ellie and Joel thing, but they couldn't do it to me. No chance. These two, no. Lev and Abby, still no-ish, but I could tell Abby didn't want to fight Ellie anymore. That's why she let her live. Because I think she knows, alright, just killing her would lead to someone else coming for revenge. So yeah, they get, Dina has her child called JJ, and Ellie lives with JJ and Dina. She starts growing more, she starts playing the guitar again, I think, and they get their own good system coming up, like plants, sheep. But because of everything Ellie's done, she has trauma, so she keeps getting these flashbacks. I guess it could be kind of like post-traumatic stress disorder, because she gets it from the simplest things, like something falling over sometimes, or seeing her own blood remains her jolt. Tommy comes in one day saying that someone that he's been telling a story about, and that someone said that that they traded with someone who matches the description of Abby and this kid Lev. Because Abby was this big gorilla, bulky girl, like bam, dude. She's actually quite strong. And this character she's on Lev, he was actually an enemy of the group she was in called Wolves. He was in the group called the Scar. They gutted and slit the throats of the wolves a lot. But Abby and him kind of just betrayed each group because they knew what they were doing was just going to end with more bloodshed and revenge. So, because Lev's mother and sister end up dying. And basically you just hear tons of kids screaming now. Like, this game, the one thing that it will not mess up is how guilty it will make you feel when you kill someone and hear their screams. And how real, like, the environments of this game, it looks so real. The lighting, the shadows, everything, reflections, water. David, yeah. Then, where was I? Oops, forgetfully. Yeah, yeah, Tommy comes to saying that, and then Ellie says no, and Dina also said, Tommy, get out my house and don't come back with that ever again or something. Because, also Tommy and Maria, I think she was called, they were taking time apart. I think revenge was swallowing Tommy up, and Ellie made the right choice in that part to say no, but she just couldn't stop feeling guilt and depression. She even at home saying stuff like, the more I think about it, the more it feels like a noose around my neck getting tighter, and it's hard to breathe sometimes. Will I ever be able to give it up then? And will I ever stop, wanting to go and kill this person? Kill the only father figure in my life, really. Because I don't think she knew her dad either. Probably death of zombies or, just out of the picture. So yeah, she leaves, and Lena and JJ, we don't really know what happens to them after that. She's saying, I can't do this anymore thing. Like, she's saying it to Ellie, if you talk about Joel, if you, do things that remind you of Joel thing, then maybe you can get past that thing or something. But she did the same with Jesse, but she made it look a lot easier because she was doing that for Tommy and Ellie so that they would try and move on. She was trying, be the positive one that moves forward thing. And yeah, they split, I guess, but we don't really know what happens to Matt in the end of Jelly again? I called her that again almost. Yeah, Ellie basically goes across country or something to find Abby. Abby is in the lab. They're looking for the fireflies, whatever remains of them. They go to this place after a tip, and they go on a radio. They're jumped by these guys from a gang, these guys and girls from a gang, and yeah. They're there for 2 months before Ellie catches up with them, but she also gets caught, and she's not merciful as much as she used to be. When I watched her, I was like, Ellie's a monster now, really a monster now. But I thought she would actually kill Abby, because they have this fight after Ellie actually cuts them down from these pole things that literally would have left them to die. Well, she cuts Abby down, Abby cuts them left, but yeah, the point is, yeah. So basically, she says, fight me. Abby refuses to, so she threatens to kill Lev, other than knife to the throat type of killing Lev if she didn't fight her. So she's like, okay. They fight a lot. Ellie gets the better of Abby and holds her underwater for almost a bit too long. I was like, pull her up, you bitch. But yeah, asshole thing. She pulls her up and I'm like, oh my god, I thought someone died in the end of this game. Yeah, she just says, go, take him, go, or something like that. Because, this kind of, I guess, it doesn't point it out, but I think this reminded her of her and Joel, just opposite of the gender position and age and stuff, but this reminded her of her and Joel, and she was like, probably thinking to herself right now, what am I doing? This will just lead to the same pain I had for this child thing, so she let them go. We don't know what happened to them after that. My guess is they survived or something, but yeah. Then Ellie comes back to Dina's house, and she's gone. The place is basically empty, just the furniture and stuff remains, kind of things. I didn't even notice the record player was gone, so I was like, oh, she's gone. Oh, the record player's gone. Yeah. Oh, no. So yeah. Oh yeah, also Abby took 2 of Ellie's fingers, so she can't play guitar anymore. She tried. Because this scene, it's a bit after the part when Dina kissed her thing. Yeah. That saying, you've got to stop being so hard on Jesse about my patrols because he gets on it on sometimes better or something like that. It's like you should have let me do what I wanted to do. I would have died and my life would have meant something. She clearly blamed him for there not being a cure, kind of, I guess. But Joel's a selfish character. He said, if I could do that scenario, if I could replay that scenario again, I would do everything I did again. And that just proves to her that he cares about her more than anyone else in his life. And he basically had no one else, except for his brother and Maria, I guess. I don't really know about Maria, to be honest with you, but yeah. He had just basically 3 other people he cared about at the time, almost, so. Yeah. He tries his best to be there for her. And she said, I don't think I can forgive you for what you did, but I can try. He said, I would like that very much. Then she just basically leaves him alone again. And I think she moves on. She leaves the guitar behind. She plays it near a window, which I think looked a lot like the start screen of The Last of Us Part 1, if you didn't realise that reference, I guess. Because it had her knife in the first game at the window. No, it has a guitar at the window in the first game. I mean, the second game. Then you just see her walk out, and basically that's the end of the game. The thing about this game is this. They play with your emotions so freaking much that it is annoying sometimes. And the game was kind of dragged out. Because you get to play as Abby just before, just after Jessie died, but before she shoots Tommy's thing. How this character feels and what they were doing at this point. Like a little section of the game to say, here, play as the enemy character to Ellie's eyes and see what she sees and why she killed Joel. I mean, if someone killed your dad, how would you feel? And destroyed humanity's last chance of survival, and how would you feel about that? You would feel really horrible, and you'd think this guy deserved to pay for what he did, even if it means going to heaven or hell, then, right? I guess, but yeah. They tried to make us think we should I kind of thought you get to pick who you could be in the end of the game and you choose who to kill. Seems it didn't happen that way though. They actually gave us a good ending. Blessed Naughty Dog. Joking. So, part 1s of games are usually the best thing in the game series because it gives you that feeling like these characters are new, we don't know them, we can learn about them, we can learn from them. And then what we learn from them and put it into the real world. Like, take example and share. These characters give you a feeling of real emotion, and that is what makes this game just beautiful. And Ellie, her singing voice is beautiful. It's like an angel, man. She sings a Take On Me by a it's so good. And Joel even has this little song that I love so freaking much. He's like, if I ever were to lose you, I'd surely lose myself. It's so good. If you have money, literally over at least £50 or dollars, I guess, to play this, and you have a PlayStation 4, please get this game. In fact, get part 1 first. And then, play all that through thing, you will be crying your eyes out at the end of part 1 at least, probably, and then part 2. You'll just be like, you'll be enraged, you're like, ah! Then you're like, oh, that's so beautiful. And when you walk in Joel's house after he dies, dude, it looks like the zombies don't exist. It's like a coffee cup. Is that a favorite coffee cup? Because if you don't know, I love coffee, and well, not love it, but I used to love tea. a bit. Coffee. Yes, coffee. It's 11 past 12. Anyway, it is very emotional, and it looks very good. Like, the shading style is very realistic, the characters are really detailed, and they are such good and talented actors. When I first saw Ellie's character development thing, like her character in game, like, you know, kind of adapting to the way Joel is type of thing, it kind of makes you relate to how a teenager would be. She's 14 at the start of the game, and then she becomes, I guess, 19 and 20? So, it's a young mother and oldish mother, I don't know. Because, you know, she becomes the parent for JJ too, as well as Dina becoming the birth mom of JJ. Which I really think is Jessie Joel. But Jessie Joel would be good. Good name. Yeah, I think the game was a bit late, because it was like meant to be based 5 years after, but would it be cool if you just did it 5 years after the first game? It would have been so good. To be honest, I'm kind of glad they took so long. And so when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh my god, this is so good, but Ellie, what is with the hair? What is with your face? But I was so happy. I was like, yes, a game, finally. If you don't know, Naughty Dog is also the creator of the series called Uncharted. And if you've not played Uncharted yet, who are you? Where are you? It's so good. Basically, Uncharted is just this like archaeologist adventure game. Where things like spirits and curses, I guess, exist and stuff. Oh yeah, The Last of Us kind of has those moments that are kind of the same as the first. I was seeing, I mean, like, kind of similarities in the ways the scenes were. There was a scene like, you know, just you're walking around in a city of some sort, but then at the next minute you're falling somewhere and there's always action around the corner. Sometimes it got quite repetitive, but it was a good game and it was really worth it. I think if you don't want to play it, if you don't think it's good, you're lying to yourself right now. Go get the game. Go play it. Feel the emotions. Feel the tears. Feel the pain they feel like the relativity they can give you, and you'll understand what I mean in the end. Also, if I had to pick a favourite character, back then it was Ellie's, but now I'm thinking Ellie and Joel. Definitely Ellie and Joel. I mean, I liked Joel in the first game too because he was more of a, like, rough character. He wasn't soft. He was very, like, he was kind of mean to Ellie sometimes, so we kind of got along. There was a lot of comedy. I think that's what the second part was lacking sometimes. Like, just the happy moments. I mean, when I saw Abby and Lev getting along together, when Ellie and I was settled down for a bit, it felt kind of like the old days of, you know, it's like, wow, this might actually make me like these two better, but it didn't. It really didn't. And I think just the part that this game is one of the first games I fell in love with. Like, literally, I fell in love with these characters as soon as I started playing. I was like, holy crap, this game is on a whole other level. Because at this point, I wasn't using internet or nothing. So I grew up with barely any internet at all. And well, yeah. I think the extreme part was when Ellie was in the first game. She sometimes had to go past her limits. She'd sometimes have to kill someone in brutal ways, and that kind of takes it to a whole other level. Number 2, she starts becoming more brutal and merciless. I don't know, merciless at things. Merciless is when they say, no, please, don't, no, and she still does it anyway. And the guy said to her, if you let me live, I'll tell you things, but then she kills him anyway. I mean, that he probably would have stabbed you in the back when you turned around or something, or shot you in the back when you turned, but he still gave you information at the end of the day. I know he probably would have warned the others, but hey, be a good person, okay? Killing is wrong. Even if you're in the zombie apocalypse, you shouldn't kill anyone. But yeah. I think Ellie kind of reminded me a little bit of Tess with the hair, but that's basically it. The number 2. If anyone here is literally still watching right now, I'm surprised you stayed here to listen to me ramble on about my passion and stuff, but this game really is worth it. If they make a part 3 and 4 thing, you bet I'm going to be buying it when I'm older and be like, hey everybody, we're playing The Last of Us Part 3 or 4 today, and we're going to... Yes, we will be playing it if it comes up public. If any of it comes up public, yeah. Naughty Dog, keep doing what you're doing. Stay awesome, and I love your work. And I must stop the stream. My laptop is heating up very badly right now. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for watching. I hope this gives you reason to go and actually play the game now. Yeah, bye.